Hey everybody, welcome to D365 podcast. Our guests today are Mathew Batterbee and Imran Farooq. Mathew, a global cloud technology leader, a passionate about all things about cloud and better supporting the partner channel to grow, develop, and offer even more value to customers around the world. On the other hand, Mr. Imran Farooq is a seasoned business IT solutions professional with well over 20 plus years of multinational and multicultural exposure, experience both in consulting industry and across consulting and industry across Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. In today's episode, we will be shedding light on transforming CX in 2022 with D365. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. I appreciate you watching, and without any further ado, on to our esteemed guests, Mathew Batterbee and Imran Farooq. Please.
Thank you, Salman. Thank you very much for this introduction, and I really thank Mathew for joining us today. Our guest on this topic, and Mathew, to start with, I think we should be sharing with our audience how the customers are being benefited on the D365 product itself, and if you can run us through the horizon of my MS offerings on the corporate world, if you can please.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of challenges. I think whenever we talk around Dynamics 365 and the value that it can bring to a customer, and even starting to look at that, it's important to acknowledge those challenges that businesses are facing today. I think we've all gone through a lot over the last couple of years, and I think that's opened up a lot of challenges for businesses in terms of hybrid working, remote working, data silos, these kind of issues that businesses are facing time and time again. And when I'm talking around some of these, for example, data silos, there's more and more time being taken up now because more and more businesses have one person using multiple tools. So in order to complete a seller's role, they're using more tools than ever before. They're less productive than they've ever been. I've seen statistics that highlight around 70% of a seller's time is spent not selling. And it's doing admin work. We've all been there where we're, taking notes on a call. We then copy and paste those notes into our CRM. We maybe have to then write up a follow-up email, message a few people about that opportunity, and it goes on. And there's just not enough time in the day. Whereas when you migrate onto Dynamics 365, it's all around overcoming those challenges, the seamless integration into Microsoft 365 and Teams. I'm a big statistics guy, and a statistic as well that I've seen is around the amount of people that would leave an organization if it wasn't using the right technology for them, or they maybe wouldn't even start. And I always joke, and I always say, if my boss is listening, I'm not going anywhere. But if I was going somewhere and they didn't use Microsoft Teams, that would be a big no-no for me. Like I need Microsoft Teams to do my job. I love the fact that I can embed Power BI dashboards into there. I can create flows. I've got Dynamics seamlessly embedded into Microsoft Teams as well. So I'm a much more productive worker where I am now than I ever have been, because I can embed so much together. And that's what is being enabled by this technology. It's enabling these businesses to onboard people faster. That's a big one as well, is how long it can take people to get up to speed in role. And if they're using multiple tools, there's so much time taken up with that. Whereas if it's simplified with tools they know, it's overcoming those challenges as well. But this is something that we're seeing a lot in terms of Dynamics. And yeah, I think that's where this conversation starts for me when I'm speaking with partners in the channel or even their end customers. It's understanding those challenges and picking the right technology that's going to help them overcome. And like I say, there's a lot of challenges they're facing, and Dynamics 365 being built for SMB and enterprise opportunities, be it in sales, customer service, human resources, operations, supply chain, finance. Dynamics has a tool for the customer. And I think with the seamless, I almost don't like using the word integration because it's seamlessly embedded into Microsoft 365. That's a better terminology for me in terms of just how effective that is. I think there's other solutions out there that do integrate with Microsoft 365, like Teams and Outlook, but it costs money. It's not seamless, and you still have to deal with those data silo issues, which isn't just an issue for example, finance and sales not talking to one another, or marketing and sales not talking to one another. That's more of a pain. That's more of just an annoyance. Where it's data silos can actually move on into security concerns because there's data in different places. I've worked for organizations, and I can say where I work now, we don't do this, but because we haven't used the right technology, people start downloading their own technology to make their life easier, right? I worked somewhere where we didn't have Teams. And Teams wasn't as big back then anyway, but it meant that people in the organization started downloading WhatsApp to their laptop and were using WhatsApp chat and started sending files to one another through WhatsApp chat on their laptop because it was more convenient than email. And Teams is more convenient than email, but when you've got these data silos, people using multiple tools, not using the right technology for them, they'll start to do their own thing. So then there's all these other concerns, and yeah, I could talk for a while on that.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Actually, you have taken the whole picture, particularly the tools like Teams, and this helped us particularly for this recent pandemic, and the people, they were everywhere now. The dynamics is changing on the business side also. Now, if you don't need to have an office and work from a particular place, so everywhere you can just take your device, mobile or laptop, whatever. The technology is helping the people to run through and to go along with the business on their daily operations, to run the business functions. Now, what do you think, like these tools and this technology, particularly the dynamics, for the C-level executives, how it is helping them out, particularly if you see the Power BI and the dashboards reporting, if you can just shed a light on that.
Oh, it's having an amazing impact. And I mean, I utilize reporting. Anyone that works with me knows I'm a huge data geek when it comes to reporting, and I need that reporting. I want a 360-degree view of everything in my channel. And you mentioned around working from home and working from anywhere. I'm living proof of that. I'm at home now. You go back a few years ago, my role would have had to have been based in Irvine, California. I'm now based in North Wales in a small town by the sea, and I can do my job. It's amazing. But yeah, so to answer your question, it's being able to act on things quicker, I think, is the importance. It's getting real-time reporting. You can talk about great reports, and you can talk about other solutions that enable you to build great reports. But is it a lot of manual work? Is it done on a weekly basis? Is it daily, or is it real time? And are you able to refresh that? Are you able to update your forecasting in real time? Are you able to get actionable insights? And even talking around just management in an organization. And I always refer back to sales because it's kind of what I know. And I've managed sales teams and I've managed customer service teams. But, teams like that, they need a lot of coaching on the go. And sometimes it's hard to understand why somebody is a top seller and why somebody isn't a top seller, and they're the other end of the spectrum. And being able to have access to that real-time data, being able to see what they are doing, because they might have a best practice that they don't know is a best practice because they don't really know what the other sellers are doing in the organization. So they might not rely on email as much. They might use more Teams chat with clients, or they might just pick up the phone. But again, you might have a lower down seller that's relying too much on email and chasing emails and those kind of things. And that's where there's this best practice sharing that can take place. So I think in terms of C-level and just management in general, or business owners, it's that 360-degree view of the business that only really Dynamics is able to provide in that way. That for me, that's where we're seeing so much value. And we're even seeing in the SMB space now, it's funny, the average seats per user or per business for like sales enterprise and customer and sales professional is the same, because more and more businesses, even at the SMB level, want that heightened ability that Sales Enterprise provides, the more insights. Businesses want to be more productive. They want to streamline processes, and they want to be able to see absolutely everything. And that's what Dynamics is truly able to provide. And then, like I say, not only being able to gain those actionable insights, but being able to see it all if you've got that filtering into a Power BI dashboard, but being able to have that in Teams, being able to have that in real time. Maybe you've got a Teams chat or group for the sales team. They can see their performance in real time right from Teams. Customer service team, the exact same. And because of that seamless data as well, just between the different business units, again, if a sale's more likely to go through, updating the forecast in real time, actually not, taking a lot of the guesswork out of it and taking a lot of the manual work out of it. So a business owner or someone in management can actually get doing what they're good at and what they should be doing and helping the business grow, rather than admin building reports and trying to make actionable insights of their own. They'll just get it fed to them instead. Oh, I think, are you on mute?
Yeah, sorry. So the thing is, if we can, apart from C-levels on the operation side, like there are platforms where we can build applications, the Power Apps particularly, which is, as you said, they're embedded in terms of the product itself, where we can, all this integration, and then the smaller tools for the daily functions for the end users. It will be, speeding up the business, and in terms of their daily activity, for their approvals to view the reports, how these Power Apps particularly, and along with this, the BI is helping the end users also.
Yeah, there's a huge opportunity, and Power Apps, we're seeing that it's growing so big in terms of the community, and I think a lot of that comes down to, it's not just about the partner. The end user customer can start building their own applications. It could just be somebody doing a job day to day, thinking there's got to be a quicker way, and building an app off their own back to improve the processes for that business. And again, Microsoft are making it very, I don't want to say easy, but yeah, easier to go into Power Apps, being a partner and building a practice. There is a complete step-by-step guide into how to go and build a Power Apps practice. And there's also so much content out there for end users to learn how to build apps. The fact that it's no code and low code, and I always compare it to a bit like myself being a bit of a Excel geek and loving building reports and things. I learned that through, searching on a search engine or watching YouTube videos. I didn't do a degree in coding or anything like that to learn the formulas. And it's the same with Power Apps. I think a simple approach is, exploring YouTube, exploring search engines, even things like Twitter and LinkedIn with the hashtags, less code, more power, or no code, low code. You'll find some amazing people, some amazing Microsoft MVPs. And we're really seeing the spike in Power Apps. We are seeing that kind of shift in terms of typical Microsoft 365 partners needing to add more value to their customers. And Power Platform's a great way to do that. And there's so much content out there that's supporting partners with this. So, for example, there's the App in a Day workshops that get run, but there's also a Train the Trainer session that you can watch back on demand as a partner. So then you can go and deliver App in a Day to your customers. So there's so many ways for partners to make the most of the opportunity. As I say, huge opportunity. There's around 500 million apps scheduled to be built over the next few years. We're in a huge developer deficit in terms of what's actually needed in market and how many developers there are to actually build it today. So even from a career perspective, there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to low code solutions like Power Apps, Power Automate. And I think it's only going to get bigger. And even there's a lot of customers now realizing and partners realizing that actually they can start using it for free in their existing licensing. So if you've got a Dynamics 365 or if you've got E3, E5, you can use Power Apps and Power Automate within that licensing for free, as long as you're not using third-party connectors and things like that. So there's so many ways to get into it, and I think it's only going to get bigger. And I think, again, it's the seamless integrations with Dynamics, utilizing these tools together. It's the safest and best way to move forward with everything under Microsoft, really.
Yep. And you said you very rightly said, like this is something you're enabling the non-coders to build the things which sometimes could be a dream of a coder also. So the adaptability and the how robust this platform is and how easy to use it is. It is really helping the end users. Very rightly said. So if we talk about the CRM side, how this is, its integration with the current ecosystem, how it is helping the business on the CRM product from Microsoft, and this adaptability and its extensions to the personalizations.
Yeah, I think there's when it comes to CRM, I think one thing when I'm speaking with more and more customers or more and more Microsoft partners about their customers, and we start to talk about what they're currently using, even Excel spreadsheets come up as a tool that's being used as a CRM solution. And I'm a big Excel geek, but it's not a CRM solution. It's not robust. It's not personalizable. It's unreliable. It depending on how many people you've got using that and accessing it through Teams. And then, competitor solutions as well, which, can work absolutely fine, but then there's a limit. And, what one thing I really love about Dynamics is it's not only a solution to help a business grow, it's going to grow with them. So it's not a solution that they're going to outgrow. They say a bad CRM or ERP solution is one that you will outgrow within 10 years. So if you're an end customer and you're using one of the poorer CRM solutions that don't enable that growth and have their limitations in terms of when you hit a certain size, then it's not going to help you in the long run. So I think there's definitely a lot of value in, we're seeing as well more startups using Dynamics and really doing their homework and realizing that actually, yes, there's cheap options out there in terms of how to set up a business and run with a CRM system or ERP system. But in the long run, they'll outgrow it. They're going to have headaches further down the line, and it's going to cause problems. Or they're not going to be enabled to grow right from the beginning. So there's going to be issues there as well in terms of what they're actually enabled to do as a startup business. So, yeah, I think in terms of the CRM that Dynamics enables, the personalization that they're enabled, and the fact that in the community as well, there's so many highly skilled Microsoft partners that are supporting other partners with an implementation. I think that's one thing that I love about Dynamics is that and really enabling customers to get the best out of their implementation and the best next steps, the ongoing support through Microsoft, through the partner, through distributor. It's really enabling a smoother transition to Dynamics 365. Let's say it's sales or any of the CRM solutions. But yeah, and we're not seeing any customers leaving. They're sticking with Dynamics, and it's enabling them.
So, can we talk the current growth in terms of growth and the market share? If you can just give us some insight on that also for the Microsoft products.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so in terms of Dynamics, it's an interesting one. There literally has never been a better time to sell Dynamics. The all-up channel growth that's being seen is around 35% year-on-year growth for Dynamics 365 and Power Apps. That's net revenue growth. we're actually seeing, and it all depends on, that's a global average. But in terms of, for example, the indirect channel, much faster growth, 80+% growth year on year, dependent on market. We've even seen a huge shift in, for example, the APAC market, which I go back, 12 months was probably one of our slowest growing regions for Dynamics. It's now the fastest growing region for Dynamics. So just a huge turnaround in terms of growth, which is fantastic. But it's not even just about the Dynamics. It's what it does for the other clouds as well. It's driving the average revenue per user on Microsoft 365 by 84%. It's also driving more cross-sell and upsell into the more high-end SKUs of Microsoft 365. So huge benefit for those partners. And then Azure as well. After getting Dynamics into an Azure consuming customer, you're likely to double their spend over time. You're actually 10 times more likely to transact Azure following a Dynamics sale than a Microsoft 365 sale. So, it's not even just around the Dynamics growth, it's what it's going to do for all the clouds within Microsoft for that partner. But then for the end customer, there's a huge return on investment. For every dollar spent on Dynamics, it's upwards of $20 return on investment for the end user. And actually, over time, it's going to lower their total cost of ownership. So I've talked around all the kind of increased costs in terms of Microsoft and with a particular partner. But actually, when you start getting rid of all the solutions that really aren't being used, or the data silos and all the problems that causes, and the personalized built integrations with different solutions and all that kind of stuff, and servers, it lowers the overall total cost of ownership and helps them grow their business faster. So huge return on investment. And like I say, there really hasn't been a better time to sell Dynamics. I mean, today in SMB, only around 2% of all Microsoft 365 users actually use Dynamics. So it's still a low percentage. That's recently gone up from 1%, so it's growing slowly. Obviously, that's keeping up with Microsoft 365 growth as well. So, but what I'm seeing is Dynamics is the fastest growing cloud for Microsoft today, which matches what we're seeing in the market. CRM is just the fastest growing SaaS market on the planet, outside of Microsoft as well. Just CRM, all up, cloud CRM is faster growing. But there is a huge opportunity in terms of Dynamics looking, at growth upwards of the market being around $200 billion, the cloud market opportunity. And that doesn't even include the services opportunity, which for every $1 could be up to $16 for the services side of things as well. So huge market opportunity for those partners that want to take the next step, build their practice or expand their Dynamics practice. It's not just about the licensing. It's not even just about Dynamics. There's a huge opportunity for partners to become one-stop shops and their trusted advisors for their customers.
Well, yes, very rightly said. So this is actually the growth is, exponential, particularly for the Dynamics. And we are really, happy, like we're part of the Microsoft family, and we are growing well. And I would really like to thank you for your time and giving us this insight. And I think maybe we can ask Salman if we can have another session on the D365. We can give an insight to our customers and partners, and we can have another session.
Yeah, no problem at all. Always happy to talk Dynamics. It's getting me to be quiet. That's the hard part. I love talking about it so much, and I think the opportunity is not going away. It's not going anywhere, and I think more and more customers are starting to see that. They're starting to see those challenges in themselves, and they need better technology. And Microsoft are moving fast. I mean, every single release wave that comes with Dynamics and the Power Platform, it's driving productivity. It's driving all those challenges that I talked about at the beginning. So it's only going to get better. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk again. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you for having me. And I look forward to coming back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for us also.
Thank you.
Well, yes, we are part of the Microsoft family. And thank you very much, Matthew and Imran, for an insightful discussion on seamless technologies and the right technology. I would like to add, rightly mentioned, Teams is much more convenient than emails. Seriously, that is how it is.
Yeah.
Matthew, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it okay? Okay, so that's all right. So in the new normal, as we all faced with, it's all about centralized data management, dashboards for C-level reporting to make profitable future decisions. As a matter of fact, that's all about the new normal, and we all are here. We have discussed many discussions, and thank you everybody for being here. Special thanks to Matthew and Imran once again. This is all from D Studio today and myself, and my sincere thanks to all the attendees out there for joining us today. Everybody, take care of yourself, stay safe, and goodbye.
Thank you.